people don't, in the early days, they don't notice that they have got traction, they have got an audience, and there's a danger thinking, I'm being too narrow. No, you're not. You really are serving this group, and they might be hiding in the wings, not sort of showing themselves on your page, but they are watching you, and they are enjoying what you do. I know I've heard you say this as well, and it's so true, isn't it?
No, absolutely. They're always watching. And the worst thing I think anybody in business can do is focus on those likes. Or the views, or the comments. Don't focus on them, because if you do, you will be discouraged. You will be. But that doesn't mean that people aren't looking. So make sure that you stay consistent. You make sure that your messaging works, and it is to that ideal client. Hey there, lucrative ladies. Welcome to the Lucrative Lady Talk Show with me, your host, Pam Obasa. And of course, if you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe and watch all of our other episodes. It's really good to have you here. So welcome to the show, Susan Lancaster. Thank you, Susan, for joining me.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here. Let's talk about social media. Because if there is one thing that network marketers are, they are thrown into the deep dive of social media, because that is the way that you increase your network. Because, earlier you said you speak to your 100 list of friends and family.
That's what people are told to do.
That's what they're told to do. I mean, who has 100 friends, for goodness sake?
Well, absolutely.
I guess you sit there with your phone and you start to write down, I will speak to Sharon and Nick and this person and etc. And one of the biggest fears is, I will run out of friends. Or what if my friends no longer are friends, because now I've come with not as a friend, but with a business. Have you experienced that personally?
Well, I didn't go down that route because it didn't feel comfortable. And I think with a lot of the ladies listening, it won't feel comfortable. So we can look at it a different way. And when we're using our social media platform, identify our ideal customer, our avatar, and then we're speaking to them, which may or may not include friends and family, of course, but we're not just, can I use that word, spamming everyone?
Yes. And that is one of the biggest pitfalls, spamming.
Absolutely.
So a lot of network marketers use Facebook, of course. So let's just hone in on, how do we use Facebook to market? So it's not just selling, but we want to focus on marketing first. So what are some of the things that, some strategies that our lucrative ladies, if they are in network marketing or wanting to get in, can use when it comes to using Facebook to market their network marketing business?
Well, we probably should make a distinction between personal pages, business pages, and groups, because these are all wonderful tools that we can use.
That's right.
So if I were to, I usually with my, when I'm helping people, start with the personal profile.
Okay.
And we're obviously, as I know you agree, very clear that there's no product advertised on your personal profile. Social media is social, it's in the word, isn't it?
Yes.
So to circle back to the question, making your profile accessible and adding value and content. So we're talking about information, education, and fun. It is social when we're talking about Facebook.
Okay, brilliant. So let's take each of those components. So we have the profile, we have the page, and we have the group.
Yes.
Now, in your experience as a network marketer, which of those three mini platforms? Because one thing I say when it comes to social media, you've got the platform, but there are micro platforms within that platform.
Absolutely, I do agree.
And you've got to understand how to use that. So on Facebook, we have the page, the profile, the group. We have Messenger. We also have stories.
Yes,
and we also have live streaming.
Yes, and you've got to be calibrated to each of those sections.
Right.
So true.
And each one needs its own agenda.
Yes.
It has its own set of rules, etc. So let's say somebody, is in network marketing. They want to make a big shift. Let's give them 90 days.
Right.
Right. So it's a specific time frame. I think 90 days is enough to see some sort of...
I would agree with you, yes.
Right. So they have 90 days and they're going to focus on making money from their network marketing business. Which of those micro platforms within Facebook would you recommend they focus in on?
Yes, I think to start with, they should focus on their profile and using their profile, because it takes experience to use the business page, and as we know, business pages are more for we're talking about organic growth here.
Yes, that's
business pages for running ads, and that's great later on.
Yes.
So yes, focus on the profile, and as you say, you can use stories. So stories are for those little stories in life.
Yes.
Your Facebook page, personal page, is for something that's entertaining, something that's interesting, and adding content. So if your product is candles, you won't be talking about my amazing candle that costs X, Y, Z. You'll be talking about maybe, as I alluded to further earlier, how to set a dinner table, how you can use candles, giving people ideas of how to enjoy certain aspects of their life, which because you're focusing on your avatar, it may be someone who down the line is interested in your product, but we're not talking about it now.
Right.
Just how people can improve their lives.
Absolutely. So let's take something like shampoo, which is massive in the network marketing space.
Absolutely.
So let's say you are, your product is shampoo. You know, what are 3 things or so that, how can I promote my shampoo product without mentioning the product?
Right. Well, I'm no shampoo expert, but if I was advising someone, I would be saying, what are the benefits of washing your hair regularly, or what are your routines? And talk to people about how to have good hair, to keep it in good condition. Maybe you're focusing on children's shampoos and things to look out for, not having sulfates, not having parabens. So we're giving good, solid information and helping people, because it's serving and helping. If we serve and help, people will come back to us. Is that reciprocity, that word that's always difficult to say?
Yeah. No, I get it, absolutely. And it is about truly helping people. But just to add to that, because all of that is true, just to add, it's also about being a walking billboard for what it is without saying what it is. So if I was doing shampoo, I would, be using the product. I would have, amazing hair. I would, have pictures, images out.
Yes, absolutely.
That lead people to going, oh, Susan, I love your hair.
Where did that come from? How did you do that? Yes, exactly.
I think there are so many interesting ways in network marketing that you can really talk about the product without talking about
the product. Yes, and we're not talking here, are we, about hiding the name of the bottle. We're not talking anything about that.
Yeah.
It's presenting it, walking the talk, as you suggest.
Walking the talk, talking about the benefits, how it's changed your own life, and using stories. So let's talk about stories, for example, storytelling specifically. So storytelling in the network marketing space is absolutely important.
It is, yes.
Especially as you're not talking about the product itself. So one of the ways that you can bring in customers is to use storytelling. So what sort of recommendations would you give surrounding that in terms of, talking about what you do?
Yes, if I'm thinking particularly about the feature of stories on Facebook, it would be to keep it short and sweet and something interesting and exciting. But it can also, when I say it can also be an everyday event, like having a nice cup of coffee, demonstrating that because of your network marketing business, you have time to take the children to the park or have a nice coffee. And you're telling a story in a way of your life, your lifestyle. But, of course, when we talk about ourselves, we are talking about our ideal customer, our ideal client. It has to be about them. It's not about us. And I think if we remember that when we're posting anything in social media, that it is ultimately about other people, then we can be successful that way. It's difficult sometimes for people to understand we're telling our own story, but it has to be about someone else and relatable.
Yes,
if that makes sense.
All the time. Perfect sense. Now, you've spoken about ideal client quite a bit.
Yes, I'm passionate about that.
Yes, and I can see why, because it is like the foundation of running a business, full stop, whether you're in network marketing, coaching, consulting, whatever you are doing.
Shop front and high street.
That's right. Whatever you're doing, your ideal client, if you can really understand who they are, then you are going to go far.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's something that you are really good at helping people to identify.
Thank you.
So how do we go about that? In terms of identifying who is it that is right for us to be speaking to? Because as you know, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one.
Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say?
It's not that old maxim, everyone with skin wants your product.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the case.
Exactly.
So how do we find our ideal clients? Well, good question. Our avatar, as it's often called. Sometimes it is actually someone in our own space in life. So it might be someone that is of the same age group, the same interests. But it's looking at your product or your service, and then it's doing research. Now, research can sound scary, but it's simply understanding what your ideal client's problems and pains are so that you can solve them. So we can use social media, but it's not the only thing we can use. We can go into groups. So if we go back to your shampoo advert, I might go into beauty groups or young mums groups, see the problems that they're facing. A lot of people use platforms like Reddit to find out what questions have been asked.
Yes.
Great place is Amazon book reviews.
Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, you can go in and see the feedback, and
absolutely,
you know, that often bought with.
yeah,
It's so
It's
helpful.
so telling, isn't it?
It really is, yes. But I like to, and I hope nobody finds this a bit strange, but I actually like to draw a little stick man. I'm terrible at drawing, so it's a stick man or woman, a stick person.
Yeah.
And then I actually I really work out where they live, what job they do, what size their family is, what sort of car they have.
Yeah.
And that enables me to understand this imaginary person. I give them a name.
Yes.
So that I can then focus on one person, because I know what shops they go to.
Yeah.
I know what sort of sport they do. Does this make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the crazy thing about doing this level of research is people think it's so boring and tedious that they skip over.
Oh, such a shame, isn't it?
Such a shame. What is so foundational. It's like if you're building a house, you cannot skip over the foundation. It's the same thing with business. You cannot skip over the foundation of really understanding, as far as what car do they drive, how much do they make, do they have children, do they not, where do they go for help, all of these things that really help you to get a great picture of who your ideal clients are, because it affects the type of content,
absolutely,
the type of messaging, and the types of offers that they would resonate with.
So true. I can give a little example. When I teach adult business students, they're saying I'm marketing my telephone, for example, to everyone. I say, no, you're not. But I am. No, because what telephone does a teenager want, and what telephone does a 90-year-old want? I always bring my mother into this. My mother. Yes.
Sorry, Mum.
Poor mother, exactly. So I'm saying, no, my 92-year-old mother does not want the same telephone as you, does she? And they're going, oh, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a good and a funny example of how people have different needs and wants. So if you know where to find your customer, where they, as you said, where they live, where they work, where they play, then we have a better idea of how we can help and serve them. That's right. And that's what it's all about.
And that's right.
Bottom line.
Absolutely. And because social media is so crowded, it is overcrowded.
It's very noisy.
It's very noisy. There's content every second. It makes sense that if you are going to put something out there, that it is something that is magnetic. It is something that is really totally suited to this person as opposed to that person.
Absolutely, yes. And I think also people don't, in the early days, they don't notice that they have got traction, they have got an audience, and there's a danger of thinking, I'm being too narrow. No, you're not. You really are serving this group, and they might be hiding in the wings, not sort of showing themselves on your page, but they are watching you, and they are enjoying what you do. And I know I've heard you say this as well, and it's so true, isn't it?
No, absolutely. They're always watching. And the worst thing I think anybody in business can do is focus on those likes. Or the views, or the comments. Don't focus on them, because if you do, you will be discouraged. You will be. But that doesn't mean that people aren't looking. So make sure that you stay consistent. You make sure that your messaging works, and it is to that ideal client. Speaking of the DMO, is there, what would you recommend to your clients? Is there a specific thing that you do daily to maintain your business? How do you go out there to the market confidently every single day?
Well, I keep a diary like a lot of us do, but I think the key to this is focusing on one big thing. I'm a big believer in one thing. So you decide the one main thing you're doing that week. So it might be launching a new product, whatever it is. And then around that, I personally have my 15 minutes where I'll attend to my own personal Facebook group. I will connect with people, follow. So 15 minutes of connecting and following, 10, 15 minutes adding value to my own group, and then really focusing on the absolute project that week, because we have to work back from the end goal. So if we're selling X, Y, and Z, the shampoo, or I don't want to say selling, sorry, marketing the shampoo this week, what actions am I doing to get my ideal customer to that space?
Absolutely. I love it. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Susan.
You're very welcome.
I think this was so much value. The network marketing business is a great business. It is really fun when you make it fun. And I think that you have clearly shown that it is a simple thing to execute when it comes to marketing if you get it right. Thank you. Now, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
They can find me in my Facebook group, which is called the Online Entrepreneur Academy. So that's easy to find. I'm also on LinkedIn, and my Facebook profile is out there. But go to the Online Entrepreneur Academy. I'd love to welcome some more people there. And a lot of things we've spoken about, we've got files and folders and advice there, so we can help you out, and it'd be my pleasure to welcome more people.
And I am in that group, and it is a fabulous group.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I will be posting the link below for you as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me today, Pam.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lucrative ladies, you've heard it. Thank you so much for joining us. So incredible, the network marketing industry. It is such low barrier to entry. And if you are in network marketing, then I suggest you listen to everything that Susan says, because she gets it right, and you can too. So go ahead and literally check her out, stalk her, find her where she is, ask lots of questions, find out what are those daily methods of operations that she is doing, so that you can do it in your business too. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe and turn on the bell, so that you can be the first to know when we launch a new episode. So thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, Susan.
My
really
pleasure.
Good to have you. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a lovely day.
Thank you for letting me share everything with your audience.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.